How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. Last time I recorded a video, I was at the back of a church recording in front of some lovely pane glass windows. Today it looks like I'm recording in a jungle. I'm not in the jungle, I'm in the north of Spain on my way up towards France on my journey. In today's video I'm going to be looking at Celtic's squad, the depth, and whether or not they're ready with the current squad to take on Champions League football this season. Obviously there are some transfer news that will probably develop over the next couple of weeks. There might be some new names added to the squad. That's essentially what I'm looking at, what the squad looks like at the minute, comparing the first team to the second team, and where we still need to add some depth. That's all coming up in this video. Before I get into the video though, I want to say a massive thank you to the folks over at the OneFootball app who are sponsoring this video. The OneFootball app is your one-stop shop for all your football goodness. If you want transfer updates, news updates, fixtures, results, anything that you want on the team you support, it is available in the OneFootball app. You can even add the team that you want to support, and it gives you one place for all the news and updates and transfers and squads and injuries. Anything that you want to know about the team you support, you can get in the OneFootball app. Download the OneFootball app with the link in the description below. You're not only supporting the channel, but you're getting a brilliant football app for absolutely free. So use the link in the description below to download the OneFootball app now. So the Celtic squad is taking shape. There have been a couple of signings already confirmed, some more to be confirmed. For handiness sake in this video, Jota and Burnaby, they've already been announced. So Burnaby is doing his medical. I've had a habit of uploading a video and then Celtic announcing a new signing a couple of minutes later, or half an hour later, or the day later. So hopefully the Burnaby signing will be announced very shortly. Jota is going to be announced fairly shortly as well, if you believe everything that you read. Segrest has been added to the goalkeepers union, and they're, you know, the squad's starting to take shape a little bit. Now, how does the squad look? Are they ready for the Champions League this season? Are they ready to make that step up? Where do Celtic still need to add some depth to the squad? Well, we will see in the video that, you know, centre midfield is definitely somewhere that we need to add some balance and some depth as well, maybe even some quality that we can bring in as a starter, potentially pushing Cal McGregor for that starter, pushing Cal McGregor further forward as an 8 and bringing in a number 6. Now, Vinicius Souza has been a name that has been linked with Celtic for a couple of weeks now, even a couple of months. He looks like a very strong candidate for that number 6 position if you were to move Cal McGregor a little bit forward. Now, the update on him is that Lommel have rejected a bid of about 4.3 million from Fenerbahce, and they want 8 million. That's the valuation that they have put on Souza. I don't think Celtic will pay that for a player that has not played for them yet. So Celtic have, you know, cashed out on players like, you know, Edouard, who they spent money on, big money players who have played for them and they know they're going to flip in a couple of years. I can't see them taking that risk, an £8 million risk on a player that has not played for them, has not proven, at Celtic at least, that he is going to be worth a lot more money in the near future. So that's why I think Souza will be probably down in Celtic's estimations now in terms of whether or not they're going to buy him. They'll probably move on to another target as well. So I would imagine you're going to see some new names linked with Celtic, some new centre mids linked with Celtic over the next couple of weeks. But that is the transfer rumours aside. What does Celtic squad actually look like at the minute? So this is a rough guide of what Celtic squad looks like at the minute. Ignore the fact that it looks like it was done on Windows 98. This is the first team and the second team that Celtic have at the minute. There's obviously more players in the squad than this, but this is the players that I feel are going to be pushing for a starting place. These are the players that are in the squad. These are the strongest two teams that Celtic can put out, in my opinion. So in green and white hoops is the first team, and in the black and green stripes, like we're going to have next season, that is the second team. So if we'll start with the first team, Hart is still the number 1 goalie. Starfelt and Cameron Carter-Vickers are both the centre-back partnership after Cameron Carter-Vickers signed permanently. Juranovic, although he was linked with a move away from the club, looks like he's going to be there, so he's the starting right back. And Greg Taylor, for now, until we see what Burnaby is like, he is the starting left back for Celtic. At number 6 is Cal McGregor, of course. Rio Hatate as the number 10. Some brilliant pictures of him with Shunshuk Nakamura the last couple of days. And Matt O'Reilly is going to be starting ahead of the departed Tom Rogic who is no longer at the club, so Matt O'Reilly will automatically come in to that number 10 position. The numbers are a bit weird here as well, so Matt O'Reilly will be the number 10. Jota, who I expect to sign permanently, will be on the right wing with Kyogo in the middle and Maeda on the left wing. That's the way that Celtic were playing sort of at the end of the season, so that's how I would expect them to line up next season as well, all going well. The second team, Ben Siegrist comes in as the number 2. I think he's better than Scott Bain. I think that's what he was brought into. He models very similarly to Joe Hart, which is interesting. Ange is obviously going for a like-for-like replacement in terms of the style of keeper that he has. I think the style of keeper has surprised quite a few people, including myself. I thought that Ange would look for more of a ball-playing goalkeeper, but Siegrist comes in as the number 2. Christopher Jullien, we will see if he plays a little bit more next season for Celtic. And then Stephen Welsh is the other centre-back partnership. So if we'll pause there for a second. Given the amount that Jullien played, even when he was fit, I know he was out injured for most of the season, I would be surprised if he is someone that is up in Ange's estimations unless he does a lot of work in pre-season. I don't know if Jullien will actually be the name that's going to be there. Stephen Welsh will be a player that develops this season, but I would be surprised if Celtic aren't linked with some more centre-backs going forward in the next couple of weeks as they look to find a replacement for Starfelt, because at the minute, if you look at the depth chart there, you've got Starfelt and Cameron Carter-Vickers as starters. I don't think Welsh and Jullien are good enough options to have as backup options if you're thinking about the Champions League week. What happens if Starfelt gets injured? Is Stephen Welsh really a good enough backup option to have there going into a Champions League week? You're probably saying no, he's not. So centre back is somewhere that Celtic still need to add some depth. Burnaby is the backup left back. As I said, that's all open in the air, and it's willing to change depending on how well he firstly takes to the league, secondly takes to Ange's sort of tactical requirements and developments, and seeing how he basically gets up and running in a league that he hasn't played in ever before. So Burnaby is going to be the backup option until he is proven otherwise. He does bring something different than Greg Taylor brings, and that is athleticism. So I would not be surprised if Burnaby gets an opportunity in the Champions League, because you do need some fast, fit, agile, strong players when it comes to the Champions League. That's sort of the thing that separates Champions League footballers and non-Champions League footballers, is pace, because the game is just played at a much quicker tempo, much higher tempo. Teams are faster, players are faster, and you need faster players to keep up with them. So Greg Taylor, unfortunately, falls down in the athleticism. Really good otherwise, but he's not strong enough or fast enough for Champions League football. That's been his downfall. So you can't really train quickness, you can't really train fast, a player to be fast. So I would expect Burnaby to be pushing him for that left back position in terms of the Champions League football. Ralston is the backup right back. Now again, Ralston really impressive last year. Again, you could almost make the argument that he's been better than Juranovic at times. Does he have the athleticism again for Champions League football? That is probably up in the air until we see him take place in the Champions League this season. James McCarthy, probably the backup number 6 at the minute, especially if you look at the other teams. So I know that if you're picking a second team, not all your players are going to be out injured. So if Itaguchi, for example, is here as the number 8, that could be Cal McGregor pushed further forward if Hatate or O'Reilly pick up a knock. But if you're going at pure depth, McCarthy is the number 6 and Turnbull is the number 10. Itaguchi is pushed up into the number 8 position. We didn't see much of Itaguchi last season. It would be nice to see a little bit more of him this season as he, beds into the team. Can he push for a starting position? Can he even push for even being the backup option as the number 6 or the number 8? That is up in the air as well. Turnbull is a player that could be starting ahead of Hatate depending on requirements. Will it be Turnbull versus O'Reilly as opposed to O'Reilly versus Rogic of last season? Again, all of these things we will find out as the season starts, but Turnbull is a very, very good option to have as a backup option in the number 10 or the O'Reilly role. That's a really good option that Ange has, and Turnbull was a vital player for Celtic last season, even though he got injured halfway through it and was out for a lot of it. Abada is the backup left wing. I think he will push over to the left wing if he's not coming in for Jota on the right wing. Giakoumakis, will he push Kyogo for a starting place next season? I mean, he was phenomenal last season. He really earned his place in the starting lineup. James Forrest, signed a new contract, probably going to finish his career at Celtic now. Probably not the option that you want as your backup right wing. So obviously Abada will play as the backup right winger or left winger depending on what is required of him, but he also could start as well. So I'm not too worried about the wing positions at the minute. I'm not too worried about the forward position at the minute because Kyogo and Giakoumakis are both very strong options. You can even play Maeda through the centre as well, although that's not his strength. I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about is this position here, the number 6 and the number 8. So if you look at the depth that Celtic have at the minute, if, and this is if and it's worst case scenario, but you have to plan for worst case scenario, if McGregor gets injured and O'Reilly gets injured at the same time, then you're really struggling to bring in someone as the number 6 that is as good at ball progression, at getting up the field. McCarthy's a very good option if you're looking for a defensive player to bring on when you're winning. Most people have made the joke now that McCarthy is a player that reminds them of being 3-0 up, because that's usually when he's brought on. McCarthy is a closer-outer, if you want to make up a term. He's a player you bring on to close out a game. He knows how to do it. He's a professional that's played at the highest level in the Premier League. He can do that, but can he do what McGregor does? I don't think he can. So that's why Celtic are probably looking at players like Vinicius Souza, looking at number 6, who are not like for like with McGregor, because I think McGregor's quite unique in the way that he can play number 8 and number 6 both very, very well. But a number 6 who is not only good defensively, but good at ball progression as well, and getting that ball forward, creating pack passes, as Alan Morrison would say, opening up the game, taking opposition players out of the game. That's what Celtic need as a number 6, and McCarthy is not that, and so far we have not seen enough of Vidaguchi to say that he is that. So in conclusion to all of this, you're looking at centre back. Celtic still need to strengthen the centre back position in terms of a backup option for Starfelt at left centre back, or even Cameron Carter-Vickers at right centre back. They need a number 6 as well, who is similar to Cal McGregor or similar-ish to Cal McGregor. Think they probably need a number 8 as well, because if the two of these get injured, Turnbull is a good option, but Celtic are limited then on options unless you push Cal McGregor forward, and again you're creating that issue of the number 6 who plays number 6, because Nir Bitton is not there anymore if Cal McGregor is to push forward. So midfield is somewhere Celtic still need to improve on. Up front, people will probably say that you still want to improve on the wingers. I'm not crazy worried about the wingers. I'm not crazy worried about the forward line. I think a lot of our players that we have at the minute are very versatile. Abada can play through the middle. Jota can play either side. Abada can play either side. Giakoumakis is an out-and-out number 9. Kyogo can play on the wing if needed, but you want to play him as a number 9 as well. Maeda as well can play both wings. So I'm not too worried about that. I think we've got versatile enough players to play in different positions. I would be more focused on the centre midfield situation and the centre back situation at the minute. So that's sort of the position that Celtic find themselves in at the minute. We're about 5 weeks off from the first league game of the season. Champions League is coming up. It's an important season for Celtic, so I would expect there to be some more transfer activity over the next couple of weeks. But until then, that is our squad. That's how we're shaped up. And I think we're in relatively good shape for the league, at least. If not pushing on in the Champions League. It'll be very interesting to see how Ange approaches the Champions League. It's the biggest competition that he's managed in, obviously bar the World Cup, but as a club manager, Champions League football is, it's the holy grail. That's where everyone wants to play. That's where Celtic pride themselves on in terms of comparing themselves to the rest of the world. So is the squad currently good enough for that? We shall wait and see. I think the squad as itself from last season will improve again this season because of Ange's coaching. Hopefully Harry Kewell brings something new into the mix, and it's an exciting season to come for Celtic fans. So that's where we stand. That's what I think of the Champions League football. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Where do you think Celtic still need to strengthen? Do you think they need to bring in some bigger names than they're currently bringing in? Let me know in the comments below, and again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A big season coming up for Celtic with Champions League football, and it's all going to be covered here on Breakdowning. So subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We'll chat to you later. Good luck.